Hey everyone, and thanks for checking out this ranking video. So today we'll be going ahead and reviewing all the Halloween films, all 11 of them, leading up to number 12 coming out in a few weeks, the movie theaters, Halloween Kills. I went ahead and reviewed all the individual movies. There should be in-depth reviews should be up on my channel for all of those if you want to check those out. But today we're going to go ahead and rank them from worst to best if you'd like, or I prefer least favorite to favorite. And as you can hear, I have the Halloween theme on in the background. I thought it would just be kind of a nice touch. And then I'll also be kind of discussing the overall franchise when I'm done ranking all the movies here, and just kind of give you my thoughts on the overall franchise and everything. Um, Kind of a nice lead into the month of October, which of course is the month of Halloween, as well as a few weeks before the next Halloween movie coming out. So enjoy the atmosphere and the music, and let's just go ahead and get started. So coming in at number 11, the bottom of the barrel, as far as I'm concerned, would have to be Halloween Resurrection from 2002. Um, this movie basically earns the bottom spot in the first 15 minutes of the movie, as far as I'm concerned. What they do, retconning the previous film, the perfect ending that they had, the perfect wrap up to that series. I say that series because there's a lot of different timelines in this franchise, but for the 1, 2, 7, if you kind of look at that timeline, they retcon and ruin all of what happened in the previous movie at the end. They don't pay they don't pay very good tribute or homage to Laurie Strode's character. Yeah, it's really the first 15 minutes that ruins this movie for me. The rest of the movie's not great either, especially when you get characters like Buster Rhymes as Freddy, and just the rest of the cast isn't very memorable at all. But yeah, what they do in the first 10 or 15 minutes explaining why it wasn't Michael Myers that got beheaded at the end of H2O, and then having the way that Laurie dies, the way he kills Laurie is just, it's all just so lame. So yeah, number 11, bottom of the barrel, Halloween Resurrection. Next up I'm gonna go ahead with Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This is probably the most disappointing film. They rushed this sequel at a time when the franchise was kind of at a very high point. You could argue, other than when the first movie came out, the highest point of the franchise, because they had four pretty solid movies before this one. But this is really when it was kind of like a WTF moment. And yeah, this movie doesn't work for a lot of reasons. It was rushed, badly directed. I hate the Myers in this movie, both the portrayal by Don Shanks as well as the mask that they use. It might be the worst mask. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do a video of ranking all the masks at some point because they had so much trouble finding any consistency with them. But yeah, I don't know. Even though they kill Rachel off, a good character from part four right away at the beginning of this movie, and Jamie's mute for most of the movie, and it's such a letdown after part four. They could have gone in a cool direction, and instead it's this psychological connection that Jamie has with her uncle. It just ends up being kind of a bland Halloween slasher movie at the end of the day, and even Loomis is over the top in this movie. So yeah, just can't put it any higher than this. Halloween 5 at number 10. Uh, the next spot was kind of difficult, and this movie might go up a little bit once I see the theatrical cut of it. But all I had to go off of was the unrated director's cut, and that's going to be Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. Um, this isn't a bad movie, but what really brings it down for me is the first third of the movie, that with all the white trash, just cursing and cussing, and the dialogue is it's unwatchable. Basically, the first 30 minutes of this movie is basically unwatchable. Once we get to adult Michael, it's much better, but it's still got bad dialogue and just scenes that in the unrated cut anyway, the director's cut, just go too far, especially the rape scene in the institution there. Just some other things. Other than that, once they get into the third act, it's pretty good. It's definitely a different take. I can watch this movie. Really, all of these movies, with the exception of the previous two to this one that I ranked here. I could pretty much I can watch. Although I will admit for Rob Zombie's Halloween, you do have to kind of be in a little bit in the right mood. I guess you can't just watch them any day. But yeah, 2007 Rob Zombie's Halloween is going to fall in number nine spot for me. Like I said, it could go up once I see the theatrical cut, which I've heard is better. Coming in at number, I guess it would be eight. I'm going to go with Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers from 1995. Theatrical cut. Haven't seen the producer's cut. This is a weird movie because there's parts of it that I really like the look of Michael, the brutality of him. The mask is one of the better ones, but the story is just so convoluted and just so out there. It really is not. It's not a good payoff for what we've been set up with the previous two movies, and but there are some good kills. Like I said, Michael's good in this movie. But there were a lot of different edits and cuts of this movie and reworks, and it just kind of made it an overall mess. But the fact that it was Donald Pleasant's last movie too has to move it up a little bit. So, but for right now, it's going to fall in the number eight spot. I don't mind this movie. It's got a lot of good Halloween atmosphere to it. I can put it on around this time of the year. So, Halloween six, The Curse of Michael Myers at number eight. Number seven might be a surprise to some people, but if you saw my review, I actually kind of like certain aspects of this movie. That's going to be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. Once again, the unrated director's cut, so this also has a chance of going up once I watch the theatrical cut, if it's better than this rendition of it, this version. But I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I like the directions he took. I understood what he was trying to do. He doesn't land um all the story or all the points of the movie, but um I like Michael in this movie. I like the half mask look, the torn mask. Um I think Danielle Harris and Brad Dourif are really good in this movie, as well as um Scout Taylor Compton, who's really her movie, as I mentioned in my review. I don't like Loomis. He's got no transition from what he is in his first movie to this one. Um, but the dream sequence stuff doesn't bother me because it fits into what he was going for with this movie. So yeah, I think this is actually obviously it's brutal. It's a Rob Zombie movie. The killings are brutal, but I think there's some pretty good tension and atmosphere in this movie, and I actually enjoyed it more than most people. Definitely not a perfect movie, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is going to fall in for me at the number seven spot. And we get to number six is going to be Halloween H2O from 1998. This was a return to form after a couple of misses. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is great in this movie. It's very much in sort of a Scream vibe because it came out a couple years after Scream. That sort of late '90s vibe. It definitely has that. Not crazy about Michael in this movie, particularly all the masks that they use. That's one big problem with it. But the third act of this movie puts it in the top six here at number six, about halfway up the list. Like I said earlier, that's why Resurrection had to be at the bottom because I love the ending of this movie. Such closure, such full circle, but they ruined it in that movie. But I'm not going to hold it against this movie because it, obviously this movie didn't know there was going to be another movie. I think they planned on this being the last movie. I know Jamie Lee Curtis did. She said as much as in interviews and stuff. But yeah, overall, I didn't mind the characters in this movie. LL Cool J was even pretty good, even though he doesn't have a whole lot to do. And yeah, it's just a good fun Halloween movie that you can really put on this time of year. So Halloween H2O coming at number six. So now we get into the top five, and this was tough. All of these top five movies are um just great Halloween movies, great horror movies, great slasher movies. Well, the next one's actually not a slasher movie, but it's a movie that I really enjoy, and that is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Obviously, this movie has nothing to do with Michael Myers, which is why a lot of people don't like it. That part doesn't bother me. It's not a slasher movie, it's more of a sci fi horror movie, but it's got so much great Halloween atmosphere. Um, we got Tom Atkins in it, who's always great in horror movies. I just really liked the story. I mean, it was really interesting, very unique with these masks that kill kids because they got this little like circle chip thing in it that that causes their faces to melt basically, and by this greedy corporate monster who's basically using the holiday of Halloween for sinister reasons. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why this is so hated, other than the Michael Myers angle. This is just a really good Halloween movie. Again, it should just be called Season of the Witch, but this is my number five favorite Halloween movie. I didn't do this on purpose, but number four actually is Halloween for the Return of Michael Myers. Yeah, this feels like a pretty good. This is a pretty good Halloween sequel. Again, Myers isn't great. The mask is even worse. Another terrible mask. But we got great characters with Loomis coming back, even though it kind of stretches credulity a little bit that he'd be back after what happened at the end of part two. Myers makes a little more sense because he's supernatural, but so that you kind of have to stretch your imagination a little bit at the beginning. But once you can get past that, it turns out to be a pretty good Halloween movie with good characters. Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell as Rachel, Danielle Harris as Jamie, and it's got a great ending. Just another movie, just like H2O, that has a really good, sort of shocking twist ending. Unfortunately, I don't do anything with it, but just like H2O, I'm not going to hold this movie responsible for that. So yeah, Halloween 4, great Halloween movie, great atmosphere. So now we're into the top three, and this really was tough, but well, actually, no, it wasn't as tough as the previous couple. um, Number three, I'm going to go with Halloween 2018. Um, this was a great sequel, especially after 40 years, to get Jamie Lee Curtis to come back um, and kind of pick up with her, and the story and everything was very interesting. Um, what really makes this movie a top three, certainly top five on any list I do, even if these change after a year or two, it's Michael Myers himself. This is the Michael Myers I've been clamoring for since the original. Both the portrayal, the mask, everything they do when it comes to Myers is damn near perfect in this movie. Even though the rest of the movie's is not damn near perfect, far from it. They focus too much on the granddaughter's friends and the sort of teeny bopper stuff going on with the breakups and all that stuff that we don't really care about. They don't focus as much on the Laurie and her daughter storyline that I think they could have. But the third act's pretty good, although it does end a little more abruptly than I would have liked. We'll see what they do with Halloween Kills, but yeah, this is a really good Halloween sequel. It really is. I've only seen it once, but yeah, Halloween 2018, my number three. So by process of elimination, you probably know what the top two are going to be. Coming in at number two, and again, I didn't do this on purpose, is the original Halloween 2 from 1981. What I love about this movie is the way that they flawlessly transition from the original movie to this movie, where it takes place on the same night. And really, you can watch these movies. You could watch one and two as just one long movie, and you wouldn't even know they were two different movies if they took the ending credits of the original out and the beginning credits of Halloween 2 out. Just a great transition, especially making this movie 3 years after the original. Michael, they still got a good mask. It's stretched out a little bit more in this movie. Myers isn't my favorite. He's a little too robotic, played by Dick Warlock in this movie, but it's got great atmosphere in the hospital, great kills, especially the hot tub kill. And it's got a really good high stakes ending, I feel like. And so yeah, Halloween 2 to me right now, at least at this moment in time, is the best sequel to this franchise. So, and surprise, surprise, number one, undisputably the best Halloween movie is the original John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween movie. This isn't only the best Halloween movie; it's one of the best horror movies, one of the best slash movies, and I would even say this is one of the best movies in my mind. Just in terms of how it was shot, the atmosphere, the intensity that they go for. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis obviously is great. Myers is great, played by Nick Castle. Yeah, this movie, I can't really say anything else about it that hasn't been said. We get the great theme that you're listening to right now from this movie. John Carpenter, this and The Thing are definitely his two best movies, and he's got a lot of great movies, but The Thing and Halloween, the original from '78, I'd put on par as far as just masterpiece classics. Um, Obviously, Donald Pleasance as Loomis, just fantastic. Um, yeah, that's easily my number one. That was not a hard decision. So that's pretty much my list, guys. That's how I rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. As far as talking overall about this franchise, it's a really different franchise in that it's definitely got the most timelines of the four major horror franchises that I've looked at over the last 4 months. You have at least four different timelines. You have just the Rob Zombie movies, which are remakes. Then you have one, two, seven, and eight. H2 on Resurrection being seven and eight. You have one, two, three. You have one, two, four, five, and six. Three stands by itself. That's not attached to any of them. So that's already three there. And then you have one. You have the original, and then 2018, soon to be 2018 plus Halloween Kills. So there's at least four or five different timelines in this franchise. A lot of starts and stops. Um, just it's just kind of crazy. You can't really watch them 1 through 11 without knowing that what timeline they fall in. But overall, it's a really enjoyable franchise. I don't know if it's my favorite or not. I'll have to do some thinking on that along with the other three that I've reviewed already. But obviously, Michael Myers is one of the great horror villains. I mean, he's at the top of a very short list, top three, top five on anybody's list, or at least should be. Um, and even though I really enjoy the movie that he's not in, the Halloween movie, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, he is this franchise. And obviously, they're milking it for everything they can with having another movie come out in a few weeks and then another movie coming out next year. And hopefully, that'll be the end of it. The last movie's supposed to be called Halloween Ends, so let's hope it really does because they've tried to end this franchise at least four times before, and somebody's resurrected it again. When there's money to be made, Michael Myers will be around. So, um, but yeah, other than that, like I said, it's a great horror franchise. Obviously, it's this franchise's time to shine. This time of the year as we get into October here. I would say the first four movies you can pretty much put on every year around Halloween, or really any time of the year. The fall is when I prefer to watch them because of the atmosphere in the cinema. But I would say the first four movies, much like Friday the 13th, kind of stand above the rest of them. Um, I think H2O and Halloween 2018 are really good as well. And then the Rob Zombie movies are kind of their own thing, a little bit different. Um, you know, five, six, and Resurrection aren't very good, even though I did rank six four spots higher than the bottom. But or I mean, Curse, I did, yeah, six, Curse of Michael Myers. But yeah, one through four really stand apart to me, and then I'd say H2O and Halloween 2018. The rest of them are I can watch. There's only two that I really have a hard time watching that are a drudge to get through. That's Resurrection and Revenge of Michael Myers, Halloween 5. The rest of them, the other nine films up to this point, I can watch. Some of them have more problems than others. Are not my favorites, but certainly watchable around Halloween. But I think the first four are a cut above, including part three, which a lot of people crap on. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed me taking a look at this franchise. Like I said, all the individual movie reviews are up on my channel, and now this review of the ranking of all the movies as I see it, and kind of summing up the franchise. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video and hit the little notification bell for my future horror movie reviews I have coming up, especially my 31 horror movies in October, which comes up in a couple of days here. And I'll also be doing some other exciting things, including looking at a certain series from the '60s in November. Probably my favorite television series of all time, Twilight Zone. There, I gave you a spoiler. But yeah, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel to make sure you don't miss out on any of this content. So, thanks for watching everything related to Halloween. And I'll also be doing a non-spoiler review of the new Halloween movie coming up midway to end of October, sometime in the month of October. It'll be a non-spoiler review, so stay tuned for that as well. But thank you for watching this video. Have a great day and stay scared. Bye.